So you get signed to the WWE. Tell me about Nexus, because that was awesome. That was something so different and so fresh and so exciting to watch. Tell me about it. Who pitched it to you? What was the initial idea? It started out with the NXT TV show, correct?
Yeah, to you, Ace, it was probably great to you. For me, I wasn't comfortable, and I've said it in interviews a lot. I wasn't comfortable being on the mic. I wasn't comfortable with being a part of a group because I wasn't comfortable with myself, you know? Once I've been able to come out publicly and now be myself, I don't care how I talk, you know? So I wasn't comfortable being a part of the Nexus. It was a great experience for me that I loved, and I tried my best to hit a home run. But it was an experience that just if I would have debuted with the Nexus now, almost 20 years into the business, still going at it, I think I would have really had a lot more value behind me. You know, when I did the original NXT, where it was like a game show back in 2010, you know, it was fear of the unknown. You didn't know what was going to happen. You know, the original NXT, they have me juggling, they have the guys doing obstacle course stuff. Like I always said, if I wanted to do American Ninja Warrior or American Gladiator, I would have done that. You know, that's not what wrestling is to us, Ace. So, I mean, I hated the original season of NXT. Now, when you look at NXT and all of wrestling in general, it's fun to watch, you know, especially NXT now.
Was everything pretty much a shoot like what you saw on TV? Like you didn't practice, you didn't know any outcomes. It was all shoot.
Yeah, and I would always be going to my Matt Stryker, and I'd be like, Stryker, what's going on? What's going on? He would never tell me. I'm like, come on, we came up and we came up together, Ace. You know,
Oh yeah.
so but he would never tell me. So it was just like you didn't know what was happening. But when you look at NXT now, you know that's where it's at. So I don't know the idea behind the game show. Terrible idea, in my opinion, that I've made publicly known. You know, everyone knows, but you know, with Nexus causing havoc and in one of the craziest summers in WWE history, it was a blast. But we needed to deliver, especially when we tore up all of the Raw set. Um, yeah, it was a monumental moment that we all needed to deliver. I remember Vince McMahon saying, "If you guys don't deliver, someone's going to be fired." So it was that fear on us, you know, of messing up. But yeah, it was a great time.
How far into the process of the TV show NXT did they say to you, okay, this is the idea once we're done? You guys are going to be a group. Like, how did that come about?
It's funny. My last independent wrestling match was against Big Daddy V in Delaware. You probably were there. You know, he was my last independent wrestling match, and we talked a little bit, uh, you know, about what we might do. But after it was all said and done, he was very happy with my work, and he just sat back and said, "Yeah, you know, once you get up on the NXT roster, you're going to be up on the road within 9 months." And he was right. You know, once I got signed, less than a year later, that's when I started the NXT original season. John Laurinaitis came down to the Performance Center, and he said to us, these were the guys that we were going to bring up, and these were our rookies, and these were going to be your pros. And my pro was CM Punk, and yeah, it was a great experience.
Thoughts on CM Punk?
CM Punk, we didn't really talk much because I think it was a time when like it was just chaotic. He had to work an extra day, which was NXT for us. So I think it was a lot of stress on him. So we didn't say much to each other. We worked together, but we didn't say much. More of a connection now than ever when I came out publicly. He was one of the first guys that came up to me actually after his match with Brock Lesnar in 2013. The most we ever talked was him coming up to me and catering after his match and like telling me to stand up. And I stood up and he gave me a hug. And he said, "I'm proud of you for being so courageous to come out and be yourself. If you have any trouble with anyone in the locker room, just let me know. So it was that support that meant the world to me. The support from CM Punk, it just meant the world to me. You know, we didn't talk much in the original NXT in 2011, 2012, but in 2013, yeah, he had my back.
That's awesome. That's great to know.
Mm-hmm.
What was that 7-on-7 like for SummerSlam? Here you are, you're a kid growing up watching SummerSlam, I'm sure, every year as a kid. Here you are, I think it was your first actual wrestling pay-per-view, and you're in the main event against Bret Hart, against John Cena, against Daniel Bryan, against Jericho, Edge. I mean, unbelievable.
Yeah, I was a little disappointed because I was eliminated within 30 seconds of the match. I was like, man, all this work and I'm just being eliminated like that. But when you have to look at both sides of it, it's setting up. We've caused havoc in WWE for the last summer. Someone's got to be the scapegoat to get pin 1, 2, 3, and that's it, to make a statement. And I was that guy. So I wish I would have stayed in a little bit longer, but the experience is where it's at, you know, being amongst the ring with so many greats. So I'm very appreciative of it. Yeah.
So how does Nexus end for you? I know, I think the next day after SummerSlam, you wrestled John Cena in a one-on-one match.
Yeah. Yeah, what had happened was, you know, everyone was calling out someone from WWE, and I was the guy that called out Cena, since they always said that we looked alike and all that craziness. I was the Black John Cena. So for once, I was able to show WWE that, you know, where we come from, Ace, you know, we know how to work, you know, and I had the opportunity to work with John, and it was the main event of Raw, was my longest match on TV, and we went almost 20 minutes. And it was, I guess, that moment where people saw that, man, this Darren Fred Rosser can really work. So I was very appreciative of that experience. That kind of propelled me to a lot of my experiences as the primetime player and so on and so forth.